So, yeah, this cell in particular has me the most concerned right now that Rachel has zoomed in here. So right along Louisiana 28, so to the east of Simpson and to the west of Alexandria, all of these are pushing off to the east and northeast right now. So we will see come 1:15 in 7 minutes now whether these warnings get continued. And yeah, we have to watch this very, very closely here in the far western reaches of Alexandria at this point are closing in on the city right now, as well as Boyce and also Colfax under some warnings right now, and Simpson. And again, some major roads here that are being impacted this afternoon, the past hour and a half or so since we've been breaking on air for you. Interstate 49, 28, 121, 463, also 112, and also Louisiana 496, all kind of in the target zone. So as I've been reiterating a lot here, this is not a situation where you want to be out and about on the road. So again, number one, until the situation in your particular parish, your particular location improves and the warning gets out of your area, then you can venture out. But not right now when you're dealing with warnings. Stay inside and stay off the roads. Now, on the flip side, being positive here, westbound, we got light to moderate rainfall, and that is not expected to be severe. As I did mention, also the tornado watch, is starting to be trimmed back a little bit. So the further west you are, conditions are improving, just some rain right now. But in the heart of the viewing area now, so Oakdale, heads up for you, and also Glen Mora, and also LeCount. You are dealing with possible high winds here. So as Rachel was saying as well, whether it's high winds or a possible tornado, either are a big hazard, and you got to take both of them very, very seriously. We're starting to get some rain here in the city, it looks like. So right along Louisiana 49, 28 here westbound, we got a very concerning cell heading towards Rapides Parish right now. Northbound to Grant Parish, we also have an ongoing tornado warning. So the Colfax community and also Pollock in the target zone, as long as LeCount as well. And yeah, now it's starting to pour on our roof, so that's not surprising here in downtown Alexandria. Okay, we have another very concerning cell here in Southern Allen Parish, getting into Southern Evangeline Parish until 1:45. You can see the kink here. Not surprised by this based on what I was seeing on the radar scope app that we have. And that will continue to push off to the east towards Reeves here, and also Oberlin, north of Kinder. So all of these radar indicated rotation situations continue to push off to the east here. Okay, so, and unfortunately, based on what has been happening today, not surprising. So heads up, Alexandria, Oak Hill, Woodworth, get in your safe space as quickly and as safely as you can. Again, a bicycle helmet or, a helmet in general, and getting underneath a mattress or some furniture of some kind until the warning and the overall situation improves, because we have a serious storm here getting into Western Rapides Parish. So right along Louisiana 28, 121, Louisiana 488, 112, 165, 167, Interstate 49, along with Louisiana 171, all of the city of Alexandria, city of Pineville, Ball, also Tioga, let's see, DeVille off, and Labousse. Obviously, all of these communities now in the target zone for this possible tornado. Looks like right in here is the possible situation right along Louisiana 28. So far western Alexandria, Western Rapides Parish, we have a very concerning cell in the Gardner community right now on this Wednesday afternoon, and we have another tornado warning not too far away. Rachel?
Yeah, we do continue continue to see a tornado warning here issued for the city of Alexandria now as this line of storms with multiple areas of embedded rotation pushes in from the west, and we have just seen that tornado warning here issued for the city of Alexandria. So multiple tornado warnings here. This tornado warning for the city of Alexandria, this area here of rotation, and is near Gardner, and this severe thunderstorm here near Gardner, 8 miles southwest of AEX, and this storm in particular moving to the east at 35 miles per hour. So this one is going to go until this tornado warning is going to go until 1:45, and this is a severe thunderstorm here capable of producing a tornado. And we'll turn on the radar here and the velocity here and show you what we're looking at. Very messy signatures again today. If you are anywhere in the city of Alexandria, you want to take cover until this line of storms pushes through, because we're seeing multiple warnings, and we could see multiple spin-up tornadoes in this situation as we continue to see the warning there through Grand Parish, and now this line of storms is approaching the city of Alexandria from the west, and this line here is moving east at 35 miles per hour. So we're going to see this move right over the city. Also areas to the south of Alexandria, such as Oak Hill, Woodworth, LeCounte. Also areas just to the north as well are going to be experiencing the impact from this line, which could be producing a tornado. So Pineville and Kingsville, Ball, you're also going to be in the path of this storm as well. And then we see an additional tornado warning here on the southern portion of that warning. And that area there moving through Hineston and Otis. So as we back it up and show you here, we're looking at 3 ongoing tornado warnings, including one for the city of Alexandria and Pineville. And that one is going to go here for quite a while. It's currently 1:14. That's going to go to 1:45, so at least another 30 minutes. And you can see the line here continuing to progress towards the city. I'm going to give you a different angle here. The storm's coming up right on the city of Alexandria now, and certainly could see a tornado produced from this. Also seeing another very concerning cell here into Beauregard Parish. That one's moving into Allen Parish, and that area of rotation there is coming up on the community of Reeves. So if you're in Reeves there in Allen Parish, you want to get to your safe place now. If you're in Alexandria, do not travel for at least the next 30 minutes until this line of storms here passes. And you see these brighter spots embedded here as this line progresses. So this is just north of Oak Hill. We're seeing some stronger velocity signals. So at the very least, we're looking at very impactful winds, as well as the potential for tornadoes to spin up. And we did have a little while ago a funnel cloud reported near Flatwoods. That's unofficial there, but that was reported by someone over I-49. So we've yet to get confirmation whether or not we've actually seen anything touch down today, but certainly a possibility. And this area of rotation, checking it out here, 2 different spots. It is this area near Oakdale. And as we zoom in, it's actually just north of Oakdale, and I'm going to circle it here. It's hard to pick out these signatures today, but it's over Highway 28. It's over Highway 28. It is east of Gardner, and this area of circulation is moving to the east, so that means it's going to bring it right into West Alexandria here in the next few minutes. And again, we don't know for certain if this is producing a tornado, but it is certainly a possibility. So it's very hard to pick out these signatures today. I'm going to circle it again and just confirm with our warning. It's going to be in this area here. Right now, this rotation is just south of Highway 28 West, east of Gardner, and this area of circulation is going to be headed into the city of Alexandria here in the next few minutes. So anyone in the city of Alexandria, you want to just go ahead and act as if there is a tornado. We don't know for certain if there is, but we've already seen a report of a funnel cloud and lots of damage here, wind damage around the state. So again, at the very least, this is going to be producing some strong winds and the possibility of tornadoes here. So I'm going to turn on the reflectivity so you can see that, as well as the tornado warning box here. And again, this is headed right towards the city of Alexandria here. It is near Highway 28 West, and it is moving east. So we're going to be looking at this storm riding Highway 28, and this is what it looks like outside right now. So unfortunately, if there is a tornado, it's going to be hard to see today. As we pull up the tower camera, we've got incredible rain falling as well, heavy rain falling with this. So there's the view. I'm pointing it to the west and the northwest there just to see if we can see anything. And if there is anything out there, we're not going to be able to see it today. So you want to go ahead and take this as if we do have a tornado, just in case we do. We have 2 tornado warnings now for Rapides Parish. These are going to continue till about 1:45. We now have a tornado warning near Rapides Parish over Glenmora and Forest Hill. So that's a new one. Going to turn the radar on there, and this area of rotation has not reached Glenmora and Forest Hill yet, but it is on the way as the system progresses to the east. So if you're in Glenmora and Forest Hill, take cover and get into your safe place now. That's going to include East River Road, and we'll take a look at some of these other roads as well. Sunset Road, Clarence Edwards Road. Again, so just anyone in Forest Hill and Glenmora, you want to take cover. If you're near the Oak Hill community in Rapides Parish, we have this box. I'll turn the radar off because it gets a little hard to see. This does include Ball, Alexandria, Oak Hill, and as of right now, we are looking at that area of rotation approaching the city of Alexandria. So there's Highway 28 West. If you zoom in, you can see this area of rotation here along Highway 28, and it's moving about 30 miles per hour. So it won't take very long to travel just a few miles into the city of Alexandria. I'm not seeing anything on the tower cam there. I want to get an update here. Seeing tornado warnings continuing for Allen and Beauregard. Of course, Rapides Parish. And not seeing any updates there, but we'll put this into motion here. And in the last 15 minutes, again, it's really hard to tell, but that's the area there. You see that slightly darker red color and that slightly brighter red color. That's going to be our area of rotation. And this is going to be along Highway 28 West. And this is going to be approaching the Walmart on Highway 28 West. We're going to be talking about the Ansley Boulevard area, Vandenberg Drive on Highway 28. This is coming up on the St. Andrews on the Links neighborhood, and we may see this riding right over Highway 28 just outside the entrance to that neighborhood, and this is pushing to the east. Again, we don't know for certain if there's a tornado, but there certainly could be, and it all is hard to tell today with with so much going on, but here's our tornado warning box, and the area that we're watching here is inside that box, and not one of those crystal clear-cut signatures that we see within our typical tornado warnings. It's again all sort of blending together, but this area of rotation is pushing to the east along Highway 28, and it's pushing towards the city of Alexandria. So if you're on the west side of Alexandria, Cloverdale subdivision, Ansley Place there, Walmart on 28 West, and this eventually may push into the MacArthur Drive area. So pretty much anyone in the city of Alexandria, especially on the west side of Alexandria as well as the northern side, you want to go ahead and take cover there. It may eventually brush by downtown Alexandria. We're going to continue to watch it, though. And not seeing any updates here from the chat. We are going to see that tornado warning here continue, though. This area that is under the tornado warning for Rapides Parish is moving to the east at 35 miles per hour. So we'll take it back here, show you the radar, show you those different warnings. And there's our tornado warning box right over the city. We also have another area of rotation headed towards Glenmora and Forest Hill. And that tornado warning is going to continue as well. It's moving to the east at 40 miles per hour, and that's going to continue until 1:45. So Forest Hill, Glenmora, and of course, we're continuing to focus on this area of rotation here headed towards the city of Alexandria. You see the waviness to the radar reflectivity there. The reflectivity are those different colors like reds and oranges and yellow that indicate how hard the rain is falling. So you see the waviness there in our reflectivity image, and you also see as we look at the velocity, again, very murky today, but you look for those reds and those green colors next to each other, or sometimes darker red and brighter red together as well. So put that into motion here over the last 15 minutes. And we at the very least have strong winds here headed towards the city of Alexandria. The velocity signature actually looks a little bit more serious on that southern warning for Forest Hill and Glenmora. That one, you can see the kinks in the radar and the velocity signature there. You can see the waviness out ahead of that tornado warning. And that area of rotation is headed towards East River Road and Southern Rapides. And then Glenmora, Longleaf, that's going to be right on top of you as well. Potato Farm Road, Sunset Road, Melder Road, rotation right on top of you. Forest Hill, it's going to cross 165 here shortly. It's coming up on 113 at the intersection of East River Road, and it's just to the east of 112. We also have our, of course, tornado warning here that we're going to stay with for now over the city of Alexandria and Rapides Parish. Two very possible tornadoes here. We've seen various reports here throughout the area of wind damage and things. And again, this situation has just been so busy today. You want to treat every warning as if it's producing a tornado. Whether or not it does is yet to be seen, but that's how you want to treat things here for today as this continues to push through. So again, we're looking at this tornado warning here continuing for quite some time into the city of Alexandria, and this is coming up on the western portion of the area. Let's check out the tower cam and see if we can see anything out there. Again, a lot of rain with this system. If we do see anything produced, we are unlikely to see it today with this rain wrap situation with all the heavy rain within this line. So as we check on those tornado warnings, that we continue to see our 2 tornado warnings. So if you're anywhere in the city of Alexandria, you certainly want to take cover, as well as the Pineville area. We're looking at this storm here coming right up on the city, and I'll kind of draw this and help you get a little bit better look. You can sort of see the waviness here and the difference there in those darker reds and the brighter reds. That's going to be our rotation as far as that particular area is. And it's not that tight. Classic tornado signature that we see with the red and the green next to each other today. It's the waviness in these lines. Here's another area where we do continue to see, and I think we have another area of rotation actually now outside of that box, I would say, but we're looking at the waviness here in this quasi-linear convective system, our meteorology name for the squall line with all these little notches in it that continue to produce numerous tornado warnings. So this storm here right on top of the city of Alexandria, and it's continuing to push to the east, and I'm going to turn the radar back on here. Lots of lightning with the storm, of course, the heavy rainfall as well. And we're checking out those velocity signatures. Hard to make out today. You want to treat this entire line as if it could produce a tornado. And again, what would be the area of rotation is still coming up on the city of Alexandria. On the west side, we've got a couple of possible areas there. One approaching. One coming up on 165, and that'll be headed over the traffic circle. And then we have another possible area of rotation here on Coliseum Boulevard, right near Walmart. That's going to be headed towards MacArthur Drive and 28. And there we go right there. So you see a little bit here with this darker color and this lighter color or brighter color meeting up, and that's right over Highway 28 right now, and we do continue to see a tornado warning with that. So I'm going to zoom out here, get a little bit better look here and a little wider look, and put this in motion here with our tornado warnings. Let's check chat and see if we have any updates on this warning. Okay, nothing for our area right now. So again, if you're just joining in, we're continuing to track tornado warning here for the city of Alexandria. We do not have confirmation on whether anything is on the ground, and I'm not saying an incredibly strong signature on this. So I'm not too worried, but we do have to treat this as if it could produce a tornado. It does have a tornado warning, so that potential is certainly there, and that possible rotation is headed into Alexandria from the west. It's riding right along Highway 28 West, and that's going to be moving directly over the city here. We also continue to see a tornado warning for Forest Hill and Glen Mora. That circulation, or that possible embedded rotation there coming up on East River Road, that is going to cross directly over 165 between Forest Hill and Glen Mora. And we also have Potato Farm Road. And we have another tornado warning here as well. This one is headed into Oberlin. This is in Allen Parish. You see that notching there. And let's take a look at this one and see what things are looking like on the velocity. And that one, a little bit better signature as far as our red and green next to each other. And the radar just passed by, so the red disappeared. But right in that area, we're looking at headed towards Oberlin. Near Louisiana Highway 26 and 165, area of possible rotation in there. And then on top of all this, I'm going to turn our tornado watch off and our severe thunderstorm. So we have severe thunderstorm warnings on top of tornado warnings today. Gets very messy. My suggestion is for everyone to take cover until the leading edge of this has passed through your area. So certainly seeing an area of rotation just to the west of Glen Mora and Forest Hill for that tornado warning. The signature not quite as clear through the city of Alexandria, but we're continuing to see that tornado warning. And let's check and see if we have any updates. So we're continuing the tornado warning for Allen Parish. Okay, we have some pictures, I think, from some earlier damage. We'll get to that once this tornado warning from Alexandria is over. Unless, do we have any pictures from Alexandria? Or are they all from other spots? Okay, for Natchitoches. We'll go to that in a little while. I want to stay with this tornado warning here as it pushes through the city of Alexandria. So it's been a busy day. We've had multiple warnings, and we're continuing to track this tornado. Our possible tornado. I'm going to send it over to Tyler now for another update.
Yeah, thank you, Rachel. Here in downtown Alexandria, you could definitely hear the heavy downpours, the high winds, and I have been hearing some thunder and lightning, and I've been monitoring the situation on our radar scope app. But let's zoom on into the city of Alexandria, where obviously a lot of people live in this community, and we can time things out for you here. Now, as far as roads are concerned, Louisiana 28, 1200, also 488, Interstate 49, 167. Now, when Rachel gets a chance, she'll do me a big favor and put the possible rotation where that is, and then, okay. So, yeah, it's pushing into the city of Alexandria, the possible tornado in the southern half of the city, it looks like right now. And that continues to push off to the east. So Alexandria, Pineville, pushing off to the east. So heads up in Labousse, Colleen, Latanier, Pineville, you are next. And if we can zoom out and look at the overall scope of all the warnings right now, including the one here in the Alexandria-Pineville Metro. So we have a severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Wynn, Grant, and LaSalle parishes. We also have one in Rapides Parish. And okay, it looks like we have a couple other tornado warnings overlaying this severe thunderstorm warning, as Rachel has been saying countless times, whether it's damaging wind gusts of over 60 miles per hour or it's a possible tornado. Both situations are very, very serious, obviously. So continue to stay off the roads and stay in that storm shelter in the city of Alexandria and surrounding communities with a possible tornado. It's heavily raining, as well as some thunder and lightning, and also the windy conditions, which prompted those wind alerts earlier today. So looking back at the local one here in the Alexandria-Pineville Metro, it's right in here and it continues to push off to the east, perhaps crossing over Interstate 49, Louisiana 498, also 488 and 167. So again, a very serious situation, and we have had multiple kinks in the line here. Okay, so we have another one down here just to the west of Glenmora, so maybe another possible spin-up tornado down there. And again, all of these situations have been radar-indicated rotation situations. So Louisiana 113, 112, and also 165, Glenmora, Longleaf, Forest Hill, all in the target zone for this particular situation. So just to the west of Glenmora, about to get into the Glenmora community, you got a possible tornado right there in that tornado warned cell. So right now we have a few tornado warnings, and we also have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. So a isolated tornado threat continues along with a damaging wind threat. Okay, so southbound towards Oberlin. Okay, so right in here, it looks like we have another possible spin-up situation just to the west of Oberlin, about to cross over Louisiana 26, and eventually Louisiana 165. And all of these have been moving off to the east at a pretty good clip here. So this could be a fast-moving situation, but unfortunately, I think we're going to be contending with additional warnings as this continues to march off to the east. Heavily raining here in the city of Alexandria now. Okay, it looks like the tornado warned polygon here locally has been shifted more to the east. That continues to do so right now. So crossing southbound of Alexandria, going to be south of Pineville, it looks like, and eventually heading into other communities. Okay, so Colleen, heads up for you. You could be dealing with this situation. The Wardville community, also Samtown. Louisiana 107, 28 eastbound to Labousse, also Kingsville, all in these areas for heavy rain, lightning, and a possible tornado along with some high winds. Okay, so we have a couple of very concerning areas right now over Hudson Boulevard right now, Wainwright Road, and this continues to head towards Wardville right now, just to the city of Alexandria. So a very serious situation. Again, as Rachel has been mentioning, there has been no confirmation of a tornado in any of these situations, but treat it as is in this particular situation here in the metro. Anytime you have really bright colors when it comes to the velocity like this with this particular situation, that indicates additional rotation. So definitely a very serious situation there. So heads up for you in DeVille. You're going to be next eventually here in Colleen and also Labousse as this pushes off to the east and northeast pretty quickly here. South of Louisiana 28 and also 107. So multiple hazards ongoing. That's why you definitely want to be off the roads this afternoon, and obviously not out and about and not venturing out until the situation in your parish, your town, your community completely clears, because we're seeing in western parishes now that things are considerably improving, and that will continue to be the case as this squall line, well ahead of a strong surface cold front, continues to push off to the east here. So a few more hours potentially possible of some more warnings here. So zooming back out here and seeing what else we have going on along with this ongoing tornado warning locally, southbound to Glenmora, Longleaf, and Forest Hill. We have another situation here just to the west of Glenmora, so definitely get to that storm shelter as quickly and as safely as you can right now. About to cross over 165, which is another very busy road here that goes northbound into the city of Alexandria eventually. Longleaf, Forest Hill, heads up for you in this particular situation in Allen Parish, and then eventually into Evangeline Parish. So yeah, lots going on for sure. Unfortunately, the past couple of hours with several tornado warnings and several severe thunderstorm warnings. Also some brief heavy downpours, some lightning, and with the windy conditions before any thunderstorms, and then you tack on the damaging wind threat, we could be looking at some power outages locally and across the area. So zooming back out and taking a look at the overall scope of the particular situation right now. Okay, so locally, just to the east of Alexandria, just to the east of Wardville, we have a possible tornado right here about to cross over Louisiana 107 as that continues to push off to the east. About to cross over into the Colleen community south of Labousse and head off eventually towards DeVille, I think, in these areas. Regardless, in the city here and up towards Kingsville and Pineville, you're dealing with some heavy rainfall and windy conditions and obviously thunder and lightning. So not a very ideal day for traveling whatsoever with these multiple threats in place. And we still have this tornado watch for essentially the entire viewing area until this evening, and the current warnings will be continuing for a little bit longer. Okay, so right in here, a very concerning situation that continues to move off to the east. Rachel?
Yeah, I was just going to say this one's starting to tighten up. This one looks like it might have a tornado with it. Certainly, we've been planning for that possibility here all afternoon, but now this signature here really starting to show that it is tightening up. So Labousse, Colleen, you are in the path. It's going to be headed right over. That area is currently just over Starlight Trail. And we're looking at this near Holiday Circle, Sisek Drive, Choctaw Drive, Pinehurst Drive. And this is pushing to the east. So this is going to be headed here towards Labousse. And you can see this area with the bright the pink color and the brown. And this is pushing east between Highway 28 and 107 over in the Pineville, Colleen area. So this has started to tighten up in the last few minutes. And we're likely to see that tornado warning continue to be expanded east. So I would say the strongest circulation is now out of the city of Alexandria. This is now over on the Pineville side of things. And this is near Holiday Circle, Choctaw Drive, Highway 3128, right on top of Labousse, Philadelphia Road, all in this area here. So if you live anywhere between Labousse and Colleen, we're looking at that circulation tightening up here in the last few minutes, and we could certainly be looking at a rain-wrapped tornado possibly in this area. So we'll query some of our little pixels here to look at the velocity. We're seeing velocity signatures there of 68 miles per hour. So certainly at the very least some strong winds, but you can kind of see a little certainly embedded rain-wrapped rotation in this area. So like Tyler was saying, I do think certainly could be producing a tornado. We have to treat it as if it is producing a tornado. We continue to see that tornado warning go until 1:45, and let's check out a couple of more things here. Seeing some wind gusts there out at AEX just in the last few minutes of over 50 miles per hour. So we don't know if this is straight line winds or if this is a tornado that's being produced, but certainly seeing some concerning areas as this definitely holds together and continues to push through the area. So in Rapides Parish, we have two areas. Another concerning area right on top of Glen Mora, stretching from Glen Mora to Forest Hill. That area there is certainly showing some rotation. And over here, we haven't quite seen that tornado warning expanded to the east. I would say the strongest rotation looks like it's actually right outside of that tornado warning box right now. So not sure what's going on with that, but if you're in the Labousse and Colleen area, you can see these this area of rotation here as you have winds going one direction and winds going another direction. That gives us that counterclockwise circulation. So let's check in on that, and not seeing anything extended. Just continuing to see this till 1:45. And it looks like we're going to put they're going to put a severe thunderstorm warning on this. Let's check it out. I would keep a tornado warning on that personally, just in case with the way things have been going today. But it looks like that tornado warning is going to be translated into a severe thunderstorm warning. Unless that's the second one. Let's check things out here. See what we're looking at. All right, so we have multiple ongoing severe thunderstorm warnings. Monroe also very active right now. So this entire area here from the city of Alexandria heading on into the DeVille area is concerning. It all blends together as far as the warnings go. We're not too worried about whether it's a tornado warning or a severe thunderstorm warning today. It's all got the potential here to be doing some damage. So looking at those colors there again, just to the west, just to the east of the city of Alexandria, through the Pineville area, through the Labousse community, and just north of Colleen there, this possible circulation, possible tornado coming up on the Highway 28 East area, and that'll be headed into the Holloway and DeVille communities here as we head into the next few minutes. Tyler, I'll send it over to you.
Yeah, Rachel, it has definitely been a very busy last couple of hours, and yeah, I do agree with you that that particular situation now between Alexandria and DeVille is very, very concerning right now here. Marching off to the east, so heads up in the DeVille community. I'll list off plenty of other towns that need to be on alert. So obviously Gina, Jonesville, Marksville, Bunkie, also Ville Platte and Opelousas. You could be dealing with some warnings later on this afternoon. So yeah, right in here is a very concerning cell in between Louisiana 107 and 28. As that continues to march off to the east. And again, all of these particular situations the past couple of hours have been radar indicated rotation. So no official confirmation of a tornado or not, but treat it like a possible tornado. We're also dealing with heavy rainfall, thunder, lightning, and also these windy conditions. So I think power outages, unfortunately, in some spots are going to be a real concern. So looks like they're going to be eventually updating the warnings here as these eventually continue to push off to the east. But heads up for you in Labousse right now, Holloway, and then eventually DeVille, and obviously well east of the city of Alexandria now, dealing with that strong circulation. Now another situation southbound, south of Forest Hill, it looks like right now. We have another particular situation right over Longleaf right now, and just the north of Glenmora. Along 165, continuing to push off to the east. Now, as far as roads and Longleaf are concerned, let's take a look at this Highway 497, also Butler Cemetery Road, 165, a very busy road at that, and also Willis Gunter and Blue Lake Road, all in these target zone areas for this possible tornado in southern central Louisiana. Also Hester Landing and Hayes Road, and also down towards Turkey Creek Road and Evangeline Road. So yeah, very concerning cell there. Southbound, okay, maybe they're probably updating the warnings in southern parishes right now, because we do have some definite kinks in the line south of us. And yeah, as Rachel was just saying, our friends up in the Monroe area dealing with some possible tornadoes. So, all right, so here's an update for you. It's 1:45 now, and until 2:45, we have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings for obviously those high damaging wind gusts that we have been talking about in recent days with this particular situation. Another severe thunderstorm warning for northeastern zones until 2:45. So, damaging wind gusts of well over 60 miles per hour, along with small hail, thunder and lightning, and obviously heavy rainfall are all a possibility here. And I would also add to that possible tornadoes too, even though at the moment, for the first time in a couple of hours, we're not dealing with a tornado warning, but I'm sure these warnings here do have a possible tornado warning tag with them. So still treat them like it is a possible tornado right now ongoing for your particular community across central Louisiana. So again, not an ideal day to be out and about traveling. I hope folks are staying off the road here. We do have multiple very concerning cells ongoing, even though at the moment we don't have a tornado warning approaching 2 o'clock now this afternoon. So in between Alexandria and DeVille, a very concerning cell right now, and I would have to say in southern Rapides Parish as well, a very concerning cell, possible spin up right there. And even south of that, heading towards the Oakdale community, dealing with some very rough times for them. So Alexandria, Woodworth, Glenmora, also Oakdale, and eastbound towards DeVille, Marksville, Bunkie, Simmsport, Ville Platte. All these towns I was listing heavily earlier are going to be in some sort of warning, unfortunately. Now, as far as roads are concerned, you got 165 here, 167. Both of those go up to the city of Alexandria. You also have Interstate 49 as far as major thoroughfares are concerned. Now, secondary roadways, if you will, Louisiana 10 and 13 down here in southern parishes, the Turkey Creek community eventually going to be in the target zone, along with Clark's Landing and Clearwater, and Meeker along with Cheneyville. And LeCount, Lamourie, Woodworth, dealing with some very stormy and some very active times here. And this is pushing into our eastern parishes as expected from west to east as the day progresses, as we have been talking about the past couple of days. So Avoyelles is going to be dealing with some damaging wind gusts, thunder and lightning, along with the heavy rainfall and the windy conditions, obviously, that we have been contending with outside of the severe threat today, which has been ramping up the last couple of hours, obviously. Now, just to the southwest of the LeCount, got another very concerning cell there. And again, we have a lot of possible spin-ups here within the line that could be producing multiple additional tornado warnings. Even though we don't have any right now, which is a little bit surprising, still treat these like possible tornadoes. So to the east of Glenmora, southeast of Forest Hill, west of Cheneyville, southwest of LeCount, got a very concerning cell there, and further south to the east of the Oakdale community, we've got some very concerning cells as well. So all these warnings stretch from the Arklamis, the Monroe area, down to southern parishes of central Louisiana and eastern parishes as that continues to move off to the east on this Wednesday afternoon. I'll toss it back over to Rachel with some more updates.
Yeah, so as of right now, we do not have any tornado warnings currently. We still continue to see a large area covering still eastern Rapides under a severe thunderstorm warning, but we could see tornadoes possible still in these storms, this entire orange area. Even though it is not currently tornado warned, it has been on and off. So severe thunderstorm with strong winds, some small hail, torrential rainfall in many areas of embedded circulation with certainly tornadoes possible. Checking in on the storm reports, we've seen quite a few storm reports here. They're just beginning to trickle in now for our parishes. We had a wind gust there of about 50 miles per hour out at Fort Polk. It looks like a 53 mile per hour wind gust. This is non-thunderstorm. Remember, we talked about that high wind warning being in effect, and gusts up to 55 miles per hour possible. Over in Natchitoches Parish, seeing some thunderstorm wind damage there being reported with a tree falling on a home. And I believe we have some different footage here, some from Natchitoches and Grand Parish. Why don't we go to the Natchitoches Parish photos here of some damage. Looks like we have a tree down there on the roadway, maybe some power lines down there as well. These are from the Natchitoches Parish Sheriff's Office. No surprise there to see trees down across the area. Could be dealing with power outages here throughout this afternoon. Unfortunately, it looks like a tree on a home there from the Natchitoches Parish Sheriff's Office, and it looks like some damage certainly throughout Natchitoches Parish, where we had almost the entire parish under a tornado warning, numerous tornado warnings at the same time just a little while ago. So Natchitoches and Sabine is really where things started ramping up first, and so as you can see there, we have looks like numerous trees down throughout the parish with those windy conditions, ongoing tornado warnings, and severe thunderstorm warnings. We have some video or photos as well from Grant Parish, where we've also seen very strong thunderstorms today, and that's from the Grant Parish Sheriff's Office. Looks like some trees down, some damage there to homes. Looks like quite a bit of damage here to some structures in that area. So what will happen now is once the storm passes later today or tomorrow, We'll see the National Weather Service meteorologists head out to these sites and do a survey, and then we'll figure out whether or not we had tornadoes touch down or straight line winds today. We have had numerous tornado warnings, though, and again, this is one of those situations where it's hard to detect the difference sometimes on the radar or as you're experiencing the storm, but once they go back and take a look at those damage patterns, they may be able to get a little bit better idea here of what happened. So again, ongoing reports of damage throughout central Louisiana as we continue to track these strong storms, and everyone in the yellow parishes is under a tornado watch continuing into this evening. So we have seen Sabine and Natchitoches Parish dropped from that watch, so you're in the clear. Vernon Parish just about in the clear. That strongest portion of the line is now out of the parish. Wynn Parish also is going to be in the clear from severe weather today, and Grant Parish here just about finished. Beauregard Parish just about done. Currently, we have the potential for strong winds and tornadoes still through Allen Parish. Evangeline, it'll be headed your way next. It's right on top of Alexandria as well. But the strongest portion of that line and that area with the embedded rotation is now headed into the DeVille area and well into DeVille and LeCount. So even though we're seeing heavy rain right now in the city, we are going to begin to see things wind down pretty quickly here for the city of Alexandria. So Avoyelles Parish beginning to see rain now from Mansura through Marksville. You're going to be next in line as this squall line approaches your area. So you don't want to travel. Go ahead and get home and or wherever you're going to be for the duration of this line. Because if you can today, it's a great day to stay put and not be on the roadways in case we see one of those spin-up tornadoes. And we're still seeing the waviness in the squall line here, our quasi-linear convective system, those different notches and kinks in the squall line, that energy kind of wavering along the leading edge and leading to some areas of rotation. So this area of the squall line here with our severe thunderstorm warning now is headed right into the DeVille community in Rapides Parish right now, also right on top of Holloway. The worst of it now headed out of Labousse, but we're also going to be looking at and are looking at this right on top of LaSalle Parish. So Gina currently seeing the strongest portion of this line. So that means Catahoula Parish is going to be one of our next areas to watch. So Jonesville, get prepared for the possibility of warnings, as well as Avoyelles Parish, and of course Evangeline Parish as well, Turkey Creek, Pine Prairie. At this time, we don't have any tornado warnings, but we continue to see this severe thunderstorm warning, and we could certainly be looking at tornadoes produced in this as well. And we're looking at those severe parameters, things like wind shear and instability, all of those increasing as the system pushes to the east. So I'd hate to say it, but this could just be getting started here today. We could be looking at, again, another major outbreak here across the entire southeast, and we are expecting these storms to hold together as they push to the east. So just because we don't have any tornado warnings right at this moment does not mean that we're not seeing potential tornadoes and that we won't see more warnings here throughout the afternoon. So with this, we continue to see our severe thunderstorm warning. And the main thing you need to know today is the location of the squall line at the leading edge of the squall line. That's where we're likely to see a tornado. And just watching some of these little cells out ahead of this, one thing we were on the lookout for today was the possibility of supercells forming out ahead of that line. And those are the ones that tend to produce strong tornadoes. So that's certainly a possibility into the afternoon over the eastern portion of the state as the line and the upper level energy continues to progress to the east. So hopefully that will not happen until this pushes out of our area, but just kind of looking at some of those areas there that looks like they want to sort of break off and get out ahead of that line. So that's something that we would not want to see happen today. Here's our severe thunderstorm warning. This is going to go to 2:15 for LaSalle Parish, and looks like Catahoula Parish now under that severe thunderstorm warning with the potential for tornadoes. This severe thunderstorm warning is still in effect for Rapides Parish. That's now shifted to the eastern portion of the parish. The strongest portion of that line is now in Rapides Parish. You can see it's just to the east of I-49 there, headed through LeCount. Marksville and Bunkie will be some of the next areas there under the gun with this severe thunderstorm warning. Ville Platte, Turkey Creek as well, and Evangeline Parish getting pretty close to Turkey Creek and Pine Prairie. We're going to be looking at that squall line crossing 167, and you see all these little areas here. When you have just a straight line, that indicates strong straight line winds. But when it's wavy like this, it's like icing on a cake. It's just wavy, and you see all those areas of embedded rotation with quick spin-ups possible there. We'll check in with Lake Charles and see what we have here. So our tornado watch is going to continue for almost our entire area, with the exception of Sabine and Natchitoches, until 7 o'clock.
And I believe they also canceled it for Vernon and Beauregard.
I'm seeing that now. So that is good news there. So again, Vernon, Beauregard officially in the clear. And Sabine and Natchitoches, Vernon and Beauregard all in the clear from severe weather today. And I expect to see Wynn and Grant dropped here pretty shortly once it completely clears the parish. So Eastern Rapides Parish, you're going to be, Western Rapides Parish, you're going to be in the clear. The city here just about out of the woods with those areas of rotation there, now primarily to the east, on top of LeCount. And as this system pushes to the east, Meeker, Cheneyville, Egg Bend, Poland, all of these areas, Center Point, Montclair, Briette, into DeVille. All of these areas are going to be experiencing the leading edge of that squall line, which of course today in particular does have that potential to produce a tornado or strong straight line winds here at any time. But today we're not seeing actually as much straight line winds here. Well, we're seeing some, but we were concerned it may turn into a big straight line wind event. But so far it's been a tornado event with embedded rotation here. Gonna toss it on over to Tyler here for another update.
All right, thank you, Rachel. Yeah, so some good news to report to you. First of all, Beauregard, Vernon, Sabine, Natchitoches parishes, as Rachel just mentioned, now in the clear. And as the afternoon progresses, we are going to continue to see trimming of the tornado watch, which in other areas goes until 7 o'clock. So I think in eastern parishes, it will go for you all in eastern areas, and then it'll expire later on today. And hearing some heavy rain here in the city, and the main line, the main show here, if you will, that continues to push off to the east of Oakdale, east of Alexandria. Heads up for you in the Marksville, Bunkie, Simsport communities. You're going to be dealing with heavy rain, thunder, lightning, and obviously these windy conditions and some additional possible severe weather in Avoyelles Parish, along with southern parishes of Allen, Evangeline, and St. Landry parishes as well, and northeastern zones pushing off to the east and northeast on this Wednesday afternoon. So again, the further west you go, the better it gets, which is definitely good news, and that trend is expected to continue for us. But if we can zoom on out to the overall situation right now, Rachel, if you could get a second and just look at the overall situation for the entire viewing area. Okay, so right now we don't have a tornado warning at this time, which is definitely some good news, but can't say there may be more of them throughout the rest of the day. So again, stay off the roads until the conditions in your particular area improve, and obviously take any additional warnings seriously and stay in that safe storm shelter throughout the duration of this event as this continues to march off to the east. As I toss it back over to Rachel with more.
Yeah, it looks like we have some tornado warnings down around the Lake Charles area. I want to check out this report here. Okay, that was in Richland County. We've had several reports here of funnel clouds or tornadoes kind of all around our area. We've seen those pictures of significant damage through Natchitoches and Grant parishes. So we continue to see a severe thunderstorm warning until 2:45 today. And we still have tornado warnings on the northern and the southern end of this line. So until this line passes your area today, you are not going to be out of the clear because we could see quick spin up tornadoes as well as damaging winds here at any time. But again, I'm going to go ahead, even though the tornado watch is continuing officially, Wynn and Grant Parish, you're in the clear from severe weather. Natchitoches, Sabine, Vernon Parish, Beauregard Parish, all in the clear. It won't be too much longer before Rapides parishes, but we still do have strong storms ongoing through LeCount. They are headed into Marksville, Cheneyville, and Mansura, as well as right on top of the DeVille area. All of our central Louisiana communities here on the eastern side of our DMA here under the gun from this. So Catahoula Parish, Harrisonburg, and Jonesville, we're looking at some, again, little waviness to this line where we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. And even though it's a severe thunderstorm warning, what the National Weather Service will do is say severe thunderstorm warning with damaging winds and a small hail in some of these as well, but they'll say tornado possible. So that just means be ready for anything today. And again, down just to the east of LeCount towards Cheneyville, check in on some of the velocity there. And we are seeing some rotation near Meeker, and that'll be headed towards Cheneyville as well. And I believe that is under the severe thunderstorm warning. But again, just really can't let your guard down at all today with this area here of some embedded rotation near Meeker. And that's one of numerous areas here along the squall line where we've continued to see the possibility of tornadoes today, an ongoing tornado warning. So this line here is continuing to progress to the east. It's moving at a pretty good pace. We've seen heavy rain. We'll have to check in on how much we've had here at the station, but heavy rain and lightning with this. And check out the tower camera. Again, if there's anything that we've had ongoing today, it'd be very difficult to see with that heavy rain here in place continuing to fall across the area. So we've had tornado warnings just about all day long since it got started here right around 11 o'clock or shortly after. We do have tornado warnings ongoing down near the Lake Charles area and up towards the Monroe area. So if for any reason you need to get on the road today, you're not going to want to head east for a while, as the squall line will be headed through the Baton Rouge area and eventually the New Orleans area as well. But if you're headed west, with the exception of the Lake Charles area right now, you're going to be okay. And Barrett is here now to take over for Tyler, who's been hard at work all day. So Barrett, go ahead with an update.
Yeah, that's right. We have these tornado watches that continue through this evening. Also, we have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings right now, and those severe thunderstorm warnings are going to continue through about 2:45 p.m. For both warnings there. The kind of northern warning does encompass both parts of LaSalle Parish, also Concordia Parish as well, Harrisonburg, Jonesville, Gina. And what we have is we have a squall line, which is more scientifically known as a QLCS, quasi-linear convective system. And this squall line is going to continue to push on to the east at about 40 miles an hour. Once you go down to the south, though, it does encompass parts of just kind of the DeVille area, the eastern sections of the metro, starting to push into a Voles Parish now. You notice a lot of wind gusts and lightning with it as well. And these winds are gusting up to 60 miles an hour with both of these warnings. And the northern warning, these storms are moving to the east at about 40 miles an hour. And with the southern warning down in here, which encompasses a lot of Rapides Parish, those storms are moving east at 45 miles an hour. So a little bit of a faster pace there for those southern storms. But you notice maybe a little bit in ways some supercells trying to develop out ahead of it, but we really haven't seen too much of that today. And that's good news because you have a little bit more of a higher chance of getting a good tornado development from those and what you do the actual QLCS or the squall line as it rolls through. But once again, it's a possibility, and we have seen many tornado warnings issued with this squall line. And once this squall line continues to push to the east, it's actually going to be heading toward more favorable environments. Temperatures up to about 80 degrees right now in Natchez, and those dew points up to about 70. And about 70-degree dew points is really what we look for when it comes to that real rich moisture. And it also has to do with how high up in the atmosphere that moisture goes. So we do have rich moisture across the area, and I do believe that has helped to spark off a lot of those tornado warnings across the area. Once again, as far as what we know, nothing's been confirmed. They've all been radar indicated. No tornado warnings right now, but we have those 2 severe thunderstorm warnings with some straight line winds up to about 60 miles an hour. Now we'll take it back to Rachel.
And we, just continue to stay with things. We normally stay on only for tornado warnings, but I think we should just stay on for a bit with the possibility of tornadoes with these severe thunderstorm warnings, and it headed into Avoyelles Parish as well as Evangeline. So we are continuing to track 2. Really this entire line is severe. It's actually severe across the entire state and all the way up into Arkansas now as well. Let's check out things here across really the whole region. I'm going to turn the storm reports off. And look at this massive system. It stretches across numerous states. We have our SPC Outlook here with multiple states outlined. For the second time in just a week, we have a level 4 out of 5 and risk for portions of St. outlined in the red there, level 3 for the rest. And again, we always know where the parameters are in place. It's hard to say exactly when and exactly which parish things are going to start to ramp up over. So last week, we saw them ramp up right as they hit the Mississippi River. We had that strong tornado in New Orleans. Today, things ramped up as they crossed the Sabine River right into central Louisiana. So that's why we say just take every one of these outlooks seriously here. Of course, we only had a couple of tornado warnings in our area last week. Much different situation here with reports of funnel clouds and confirmed damage to Grant and Natchitoches parishes as well. So the line looked, and we're not going to be dealing with it a whole lot longer. It is starting to head out of Rapides Parish, but that means it is headed into Avoyelles and Evangeline. Allen Parish, it'll be heading out of your area here shortly. And then we have Catahoula and Concordia Parish, and of course, Adams County, Mississippi, that we also cover for the Natchez area, and it's also going to be headed into your area. So lots of lightning, torrential rainfall. We'll stop it here and just see how the velocity looks. And looks like we do have an area here with some possible rotation right on top of Cheneyville, and I think we were looking at this area here a little while ago. And with these, this line here primarily pushing to the east, yeah, you can see that notch there that was just moving south of LeCount. That's now right on top of Cheneyville. So it's going to head as it translates east. We actually have another area down around Turkey Creek and Pine Prairie. So again, this waviness, these notches here, we've seen those tornado warned most of the day. Currently, we don't have them tornado warned, but certainly could produce quick spin up tornadoes. And these are going to be headed, these areas here that we're keeping an eye on are going to be headed into Avoyelles Parish, Bunkie, really from Bunkie through Mansura and Marksville. Just keep an eye on things here in the next hour or so as this progresses to the east. Turkey Creek, seeing some little embedded waviness there, some notches in this. Centerville and eventually St. Landry by Chico, as well as Pine Prairie and Turkey Creek, all just areas to keep an eye on. And again, we're not seeing anything at this time that indicates that we see a tornado, but we have at the very least here these very strong storms, and they are continuing here to translate east. I want to go to the last hour and turn off our tornado watch. We are seeing that tornado watch here dropping from west to east, and this is about halfway through our area now as it exits eastern Rapides Parish, or begins its exit. We've had over an inch of rain here at the station in downtown Alexandria. Still hearing the rain. And look at Sabine Parish and Natchitoches Parish. Hardly any rain there, at least for the northern portions of that parish. And even Vernon Parish is going to start to see the rain clear out. So we said we thought this would wrap up by about 5 or 6 o'clock, and it looks like we are on track. It was moving very slowly this morning. The squall line took a little bit longer to actually get here, but it looks like maybe we picked up a little forward pace as this pushes to the east. So we have Catahoula and Concordia parishes under the gun with the squall line, as well as Avoyelles Parish, Evangeline, And then, of course, last but not least, St. Landry Parish also going to be looking at this squall line. And we continue to see a new tornado warning, not for our area, but down around the Lake Charles area and south of it. So if you know anyone headed down towards I-10, not a great day to be traveling really anywhere across the state. We also have those ongoing tornado warnings to the near Delhi there to the east of the Monroe area up towards the Winnsboro area. So this entire squall line here, severe, whether it's a tornado warning or a severe thunderstorm warning. We have the one gap in this line here between the southern portion of that severe thunderstorm warning and that tornado warning, which just happens to be over Kinder right now. But until this line crosses your area, you definitely want to prepare for bad weather, as strong winds, possibility of tornadoes, as well as we haven't seen much in the way of hail, but certainly some of these storms may have a little small hail in them. Seeing a report coming in from Galdana and Natchitoches Parish, some thunderstorm wind damage there. Road blocked with fallen trees, transformers, power poles. That could be from that photo that we saw a little while ago with that damage through Natchitoches and Grant Parish. Let's show some of those photos again if you're just joining in. We are starting to get some storm reports here trickling in, and we'll show some of those damage reports from Grant Parish and Natchitoches Parish, whenever we can get up there. We've had trees down and power lines. This one comes from the Natchitoches Parish Sheriff's Office there. You see the trees lying across the roadway along with power poles there. Numerous trees down. And of course, you know, we still have all those loose branches and unsturdy trees still left around from Hurricane Laura. So on a day like today, anything that wants to come down is going to come down. And unfortunately, it does look like we have some damage to some homes in that area as well. We have some photos over in Grant Parish. That's some pretty big trees as well. So we'll see whether or not this is determined as tornado damage or damaging winds. Some photos there coming in from Grant Parish. And again, we had tornado warnings in all of these areas. So it very well could be tornado damage. We had many, many areas of concern on our velocity there indicating rotation. So this will be investigated and will determine whether or not this damage was from straight line winds or tornado warning. So still tracking this. I want to see how quickly this line is progressing now to the east as it heads into Avoyelles. So we have the severe thunderstorm warning until 2:45, so a little over 30 minutes. And this severe thunderstorm warning will include still portions of Rapides, Evangeline, Avoyelles, St. Landry, and Allen. So again, really just covering this entire portion of the line. And this is for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Also, again, we're not going to let our guard down on the possibility of tornadoes today. And this storm here is moving east at 45 miles per hour. So I want to track out the squall line and see how long it's going to take to get into our Avoyelles Parish communities. And we're going to move this over here, and this is moving to the east here at 45 miles per hour. So again, we're seeing some rain out ahead of this main portion, but I want to draw this here through to the east at 45 miles per hour. And that's going to put this into really right on top of Pine Prairie, Bayou Chico, into Marksville in the next 10 minutes, into Eola in the next 10 minutes, Mansura in the next 12, Cottonport within about 15 minutes or so, then making its way into Moorville and Plocherville within the next 20 minutes. It'll head into the Vidalia community there as it nears the Mississippi River in the next 25 minutes, according to our radar estimate here, and then into the Natchez, Mississippi area. That's the leading edge, that is, in the next 30 minutes or so, as well as Simmsport in the next 40 minutes. And looks like we have a new tornado warning there. And Barrett, I'm going to throw it over to you, and I'm going to man the radar for you.
Yeah, that's right. It looks like we do have a new tornado warning that does encompass the Marksville area. That's kind of central, north central Avoyelles Parish there. Also the Mansura area, and this is moving to the east. But as you notice, we do have a little bit of a circulation right in here. You can tell it on the radar. If we could go to the velocities real quick and take a look at that, you can see some bright colors with the red and a little bit of green there. So that right there does prove that there is a spin in the storm as that storm continues to move on to the east. So like I said, Marksville, Mansura, you all want to get in your safe spots right now, be in the most interior room of the home. Stay away from any windows or any doors or anything like that. Usually the most interior room of the home is a hallway or a closet. Now, if you want, you can also go into the bathroom, and the reason why is because the bathroom has a lot of pipes and fixtures within the walls that helps to keep it more sturdy in these high wind situations. And also the bathroom is just a little bit lower in elevation as well. So you can see the hallway, the closet, usually the most interior room of the home. And the reason why that's more the safe spot is because you have more walls in between you and the outside element. So instead of having one wall, you usually have 2 or 3 walls. And whenever it comes to those very powerful EF4 tornadoes, EF3 tornadoes, usually what they find is that the most interior structure or rooms of the home are the only ones left standing. And so that's the reason why you want to get in the most interior room of the home, and also the bathroom is a good spot as well. But once again, if you live in the Marksville, Mansura area, want to get in your safe spot as of right now as this continues to move on to the east into kind of central Ovoles Parish, especially extreme eastern Ovoles Parish as well. This right here does encompass State Highway 114 there, and 114 kind of drives south there into the Mansura area. Also State Highway 453 as well. The Egg Bend area, if you live in the Egg Bend area, then you'll want to be in your safe spot as of right now because it's bearing down on you all right now, especially just kind of on the south end as well. Hesmer, it's bearing in on you all as well. So there's Egg Bend, Hesmer, and then there's Marksville a little bit further to the east, and there's Mansura as well. We've circled all those communities. State Highway 14 is right on State Highway 14 right now, getting in on the Egg Bend area. You can see that rotation has kind of tightened up just a little bit more, and you can also see with the velocities here, what this basically means, what you're looking at is red means that the winds are actually driving away from the radar, from the Fort Polk radar. So these winds are coming in from the west like that, and these greens means that the wind's coming in from the south and east. And right in the middle, that's where you see that rotation right in there as that continues to kind of march just right on top of Highway 114 as we continue to get updates from the radar there. And now we'll go ahead and send it back to Rachel.
Sorry about that, Barry. I was trying to change the camera view here to get a better look at that velocity. Didn't mean to show Alexandria there. Yeah, this area of rotation here is south of Egg Bend and south of Echo. It's south of Highway 1, although it is close to Highway 1. It's coming up on Highway 114. And let's see some of these other roads. Burke Road, Humphreys Loop, German Bayou Road. And this is an area of rotation. It's going to be very close to Hesmer, and it is moving east. So I do expect it to come up on or near the Hesmer community here in the next few minutes. At this time, it would be on the southern side of Marksville, but Hesmer and Mansura, as it goes along Highway 114, that would be the next place. So you can see, I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. Just go to the last few minutes. This is the area that I mentioned just a few minutes ago. As it was near Cheneyville, it was showing signs of rotation. And it looks like as it's progressed east, it has tightened up into more of a classic signature, less of a messy signature. So this tornado warning is going to go till 2:45. And I do believe it triggered. Let's check that out. It did trigger part of Rapides Parish. At this point, the area of concern is out of Rapides Parish and into far western of Oil. So it was near Cheneyville for a few minutes there, and it was concerning near Cheneyville. It took a couple minutes to get a warning on. Of course, we had it covered, though, by that severe thunderstorm warning. But now this area tightening up a little bit as it heads into and close to the Hesmer community. So if you're in Hesmer or Mansura, and really any of these surrounding areas, Egg Bend and Marksville, but certainly Hesmer, you want to go ahead and get to your safe place. We have a possible tornado with this warning. We've had the severe thunderstorm warning on and off here the last few minutes, and now we're seeing this with the tornado warning as that area of rotation tightens up. So till 2:45, and this tornado warning here, just going to check out the warning. That was the area of rotation near Cheneyville there, and it's now coming up on Hesmer as this pushes to the east at 40 miles per hour. So it's only going to take a few minutes to come up on Hesmer here. So if you're in that area, you want to go ahead and get to your safe place for that possible tornado. We'll query some of these pixels here. And haven't seen any incredibly strong signatures today, but we're seeing damage. So like I said, it's hard to tell if it's straight line winds, if it's tornadoes today, but we're seeing damage. So you want to take every warning seriously. So this is near Highway 114. It is pretty close to Highway 1 though. It's really just to the south, but certainly could be affecting Highway 1. So to play it safe, anywhere near the Egg Bend community, you should go ahead and take cover as well. Coming up on Hesmer, and then eventually you may see this move over Marksville and Mansura. And again, this is just because we have the squall line here that's continuing to progress to the east. And as we put those warnings on and take off our tornado watch, which, by the way, has been dropped for Grant and Wynn Parish. We have a severe thunderstorm warning encompassing this entire area here in the orange box. And so anywhere in this orange box, you want to go ahead and just prepare for the possibility of damaging winds and even tornadoes anywhere in that box. But then we have that little notched area there. Again, that's going to be near the Egg Bend and Echo communities. It's actually going to be, let's turn on velocity and see exactly where it is. It looks like it's just east of Echo. Looks like we have another little area there, possibly near Cheneyville again. Again, lots of areas. So until the squall line passes your area, you want to be in your safe place. And I'm going to back it up here in the last few minutes and just kind of show you what we're talking about. You can see need my pointer here. We have this area right here, that green and that red next to each other. So that's been what has been continuing to translate here to the east. And as it pushes east there, it's moving towards the Hesmer area as well as Mansura and Marksville. And let's check in and see what kind of warnings we have going on here. That's another report of some wind damage, power poles down, possible tornado. That's a report from Cheneyville. So again, all of this will need to be investigated, but certainly a possibility that we've seen some tornadoes today. It's one of those days where they're going to be covered in rain in most situations, and it's going to be difficult to determine. But our current area here, we have a tornado watch continuing, but a tornado warning continuing now for Avoyelles Parish. Still technically covers part of Rapides, but we're not concerned for the most part about Rapides here. We're concerned about that area there approaching Hesmer right now, and it's that area there right in here. So again, it's bordering Highway 1 as well as Highway 114. It's going to be crossing over 115. And that's going to be potentially affecting Marksville or Mansura, most likely kind of in between along Highway 1. And this is affecting the Hesmer area right now. Barrett, I'll send it over to you for another update.
Yes, that's right. Once again, the circulation is moving on to the east at about 40 miles an hour, and that is kind of embedded within a squall line that's producing 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and also moving east at about 40 to 45 miles an hour. And you can see that kind of signified here with a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings, both warnings of which those radar indicated 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts as that squall line continues to push on to the east. But you can also see how many of us have actually been taken out of the tornado watch, and so that's a little bit of good news there as that squall line continues to push to the east. But the bad news is that as it continues to push to the east, those temperatures are going to warm up continuously through the afternoon hours, and also those dew points reaching right around that 70-degree mark. So it's actually moving to more favorable conditions. You can see all day it's been moving in more favorable conditions up to a level 4 out of 5. That's a moderate risk of severe weather, and that does encompass a lot of our central and eastern areas. Now, behind the actual squall line, those dew points actually getting a little bit drier. That's why you see a 57-degree dew point in Alexandria, 62-degree dew point in Jackson. But trust me, I've checked earlier, and in Avoyelles and parts of Allen, St. Landry Parish, those dew points are up to 70 degrees. And so you can also see a south wind as well, up to about 25 to 30 miles an hour. And out ahead of these squall lines and these supercells that develop, that's kind of what we look for, those kind of gusty winds at the surface, because the higher those gusty winds are, especially if they get up to about 25 knots, it's going to kind of allow for more of a spin in the atmosphere. atmosphere. So that is something that we do look at, and that is something that we do have today. You can see those winds gusting up from the south. Forget 25 miles an hour, up to about 40 miles an hour there for parts of Natchez, also down toward the Mississippi River as well. And these are our current wind gusts, so that's still going on at the surface. And taking a look now at the velocities with this tornado warned storm, that's continuing to move on to the east once again at 40 miles an hour. That's just east of the Egg Bend area now. As Rachel mentioned, State Highway 101, 107, 114, 115 as well, kind of in this area that's outlined there. That's going to continue to move on to the east. Moncla, especially if you live just south of that community, you're going to want to take shelter right now. If you live between that community and also Marksville, take shelter right now. If you live in Marksville, take shelter right now. But it looks like kind of the core of that may go right in between the two communities there as it continues to lift on to the northeast. You also have a little bit of a brighter spot down in here. Maybe you can't forget that. But it is a little bit broad in nature, but it is warranted enough to put out a radar indicator tornado warning. So that's what we're going with here as this continues to move on to the east at about 40 miles an hour. And so, Rachel, you got anything to add? You got any updates?
Not seeing anything new coming in. Again, we're just tracking this cell here as it continues to move through Avoyles Parish, and we're watching the squall line anywhere along the leading edge of the squall line, the potential to produce not only damaging winds, but that possibility of tornadoes today. And this tornado warning here, it has been expired for Avoyles, for Rapides Parish, and that's only because it's moving out of the parish. We're continuing the tornado warning here. This is a new update till 2:45, and this is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. It is over Hesmer, and it's moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. So this does have more of a northeasterly component in comparison to the easterly direction. The squall line has been moving most of the day. So with that being the case here, let's turn on velocity. This would be most likely going to be affecting the Marksville area as well as we continue to see this. So I want to go over to Avoyles and really a couple of areas of potential rotation that I'm seeing. Like Barrett mentioned, they are a little broad, but we have this area here just to the east of Marksville, and then we have another one there near Hesmer. So where we have the tornado warning, the tornado warning does encompass both of those areas of rotation. So I think anywhere from Marksville, Monclaw, Bruyette, you'll be in the next area there under the direction of this. Hesmer and Mansura, and then eventually Moorville and Cottonport, and even near Bunkie. Really, the whole parish at this point just needs to be on the alert for the possibility of a tornado. It's a day where we have very messy radar signatures. They're not those clean-cut ones. We have a lot of heavy rain, so there are likely going to be rain-wrapped storms here, which means you won't see it coming too easily. And that's what we're looking at here with this tornado warning here continuing until about 2:45, unless we hear otherwise. And we have our severe thunderstorm warnings as well, stretching through Catahoula and Concordia Parish. And Barrett, I'm going to send it on over to you.
Yes, and once again, the squall line's moving to the east on average at about 40, 45 miles an hour. The particular cell that's producing this tornado warning is moving to the east at 40 miles an hour. As Rachel mentioned earlier, it does encompass the Marksville, Mansura area, the Brulette area as well, the Monca area, and it's just east of the Egg Bend area. You can see they actually expired it for Rapides Parish there, so that's a little bit of good news there, and that's going to continue to move to the east at 40 miles an hour. You're going to want to make sure you're in your safe space, have as many walls between you and the elements as possible, and also get in the bathroom. That's another good area to be in as well, because it has a lot of fixtures within the walls of the bathroom. The bathroom usually is a few inches lower in elevation, but you can see the hallway and the closets are usually kind of the most interior rooms of the home there. Instead of having one wall between you and the elements, you could actually have two, maybe even up to three walls, just depending on how your house is constructed and built around your inner in our rooms there. But nonetheless, we'll just go ahead and go back here, and you notice that we do have those severe thunderstorm warnings that's continuing along this squall line as it pushes on to the east for those wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour. And we've seen reports of those winds gusting up to 50, 55 miles an hour. We've also seen damaging winds as well. And also with this particular storm, we've seen some damaging winds over near the Cheneyville area. And that's a reason why you're going to want to take this very seriously, because it's radar indicated. Nothing's been confirmed yet, but it does have a history of producing damage. So you have to assume that you need to take it as seriously as possible as this rotation continues to move on to the east, getting on top of the Marksville, or getting very near the Marksville area right now. And as we mentioned earlier, as Rachel mentioned earlier, another kind of area of circulation there just to the east or west of Mansura, and that's headed toward the Mansura area. So basically from Mansura all the way up State Highway 1 toward the Blanca area, you're going to want to make sure you're in your shelter and your safe space as this circulation moves on to the east. And once again, sometimes it's moving east at about 40 miles an hour, but as Rachel mentioned, we have a lot of heavy rainfall out there with this squall line, and that can kind of distort the radar a little bit. And so because of that, you're going to want to take it seriously, because maybe the radar is just not picking up something that it may, whenever it does, maybe spit out a small tornado. And so the radar can have a little bit of a hard time with that, just based off of the intensity of the rainfall. And once again, moving east at about 40 miles an hour, and this storm does have a history of producing damage. Now, we personally don't know if that's been just wind damage, or if it did spawn up a little bit of a tornado, but that's what you have to assume. So therefore you take the necessary precautions to stay safe as this continues to bear down on the Marksville area. And after Marksville, will be going into more of a rural area, and to State Highway 910 kind of to the east of the warning there. But nonetheless, there are still people that live in these rural areas, and still a little bit of small communities as well. And so you notice that more of Voules Parish maybe is what it affects, northern of Voules Parish, kind of extending into southern Concordia and Cullahula Parish there as it continues to move on to the east. And she'll put out a little bit of a cone here of where it could move, and we'll get some communities lined up here. So I'll step out of the way, and you can see that Spring Bayou Golf Course, if you live near that area, the Book area, the Central High School area, the Red River State Wildlife Management area as well. It'll be in those areas within the next 30 minutes. And so within the next 30 minutes, you're going to want to take your safe, be in your safe space, and make sure you know where that's at and get in that. After the 30-minute mark, it starts to head toward the New Era area, and also the Perhams area, Monterey High School, Deer Park, and Stacy. Of course, once you get to about more than 30 minutes out, it's really based off if this holds together or not. But if you live within 30 minutes of that, you're going to want to make sure and get in your safe spot as of right now. So we'll go ahead and take it on back to Rachel and see if we have any more updates.
Yeah, nothing new coming in. Just continuing to track this tornado warning in effect until 2:45 for Voules Parish. This area coming up on Marksville and Mansura now. So if you are in Marksville or Mansura, you want to go to your safe place. Turn up the TV if you can. Take your phone with you to listen to us, and just stay in the bathroom or a closet or the hallway till the system passes. Certainly better to be safe than sorry, especially on a day like today where we are seeing reports of damage come in. So this tornado warning is going to go until 2:45. And we have some kind of new update coming in there. And that's going to be for, looks like, I think they're going to continue the tornado warning. We'll see if it pops up into our system here. Anyhow, this squall line here continuing to push. This one has a little bit of a northeasterly component to it. A lot of this line has been moving just directly east today. This one has more of a northeasterly component, so we're going to see this affecting really anywhere between Mansura and Marksville as this progresses to the east and the northeast here throughout the day. Hamburg may be in the path of this, Bruyette. Some of our other areas, we may see this affect Big Bend eventually. But this tornado warning here is going to continue along with severe thunderstorm warnings for the severe part of this line is now exiting Catahoula and moving into Concordia. We're going to see Adams County, Mississippi affected shortly. The worst now is just past Jonesville, but that'll be moving into the Wisner, Clayton, Natchez communities here. And that's going to be crossing the Mississippi River, and it is going to eventually be out of our area here shortly. Numerous tornado warnings ongoing across the northern part of the state. We have had some around the Lake Charles area and on and off here throughout the day. So as of this moment, we have our severe thunderstorm warning, the northern portion of the squall line crossing into Concordia Parish and then Adams County, Mississippi. We continue to see the severe thunderstorm warning. This severe portion of the storm is exiting Rapides Parish now, so we should see that dropped off here momentarily. And this is affecting Evangeline Parish here, Ville Platte. You're going to be the next in line to see these strong storms. It's right on top of Pine Prairie. Mamou, you're also one of the next areas right on top of, coming up right now on Bunkie and Cottonport, and then Simmsport, you're going to be next. So again, it's not necessarily, we're not necessarily seeing a tornado, but we're seeing a very strong thunderstorm capable of producing tornadoes. And that severe thunderstorm warning there for Avoyelles Parish is going to continue with the possibility of some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and some small hail till 2:45. And looks like they aren't going to drop it for Rapides, although the worst certainly looks like it's exiting Rapides. But so we have a severe thunderstorm warning here as indicated by this big, very large orange box, and then within that we have a tornado warning moving through Avoyelles Parish with severe thunderstorm warnings all the way up through Concordia Parish as well. So turning back on our radar here, this is right on top of Marksville, Mansura. You're going to be the next here. And we are still seeing some embedded areas of rotation. Nothing sticks out to me as particularly strong today, but that does not mean that we're not seeing damage from either winds or tornadoes. Looks like we got a couple little areas here of some possible rotation right between Marksville and Bruyette. And those are headed northeast. Then a little messy down towards Mansura and Hesmer, but certainly could be looking at some possible rotation right in that area as well. And that's going to be along Highway 114. And these areas of concern are going to be heading to Highway 107. We are going to see the second area here cross Highway 1 between Mansura and Moorville, as well as Highway 114. And then looking at a couple of areas here up near Bruyette, that's going to be, looks like moving into more of a rural area. So we have our tornado warning here ongoing, multiple warnings still ongoing, primarily severe thunderstorm warnings with the possibility of tornadoes certainly in that, as well as our tornado warning till 2:45. So we have about another 9 minutes or so until we get any type of update on that. The severe thunderstorm warning, let's see. Looks like Allen Parish here. As we take a look at this, Allen Parish is more or less in the clear. That severe thunderstorm warning has been expired for Allen, and the worst of it is now east of Allen. So Allen Parish going to be the next to be in the clear. Still seeing some heavy rain here through Rapides, but I think we're just about done here in Rapides. And of course, we're done in Grant and Winfield and Wynn Parish. LaSalle Parish now going to be in the clear, and Catahoula, just about. Primarily Concordia, though, is seeing the brunt of that storm, and then we're still seeing the strong storm there making its way through Evangeline and Avoyelles. Ville Platte, of course, we'll have St. Landry Parish next, but Bunkie, Marksville, Plocheville, and Simmsport, you're going to be the next here in line, and we may see that tornado warning. Wouldn't include Plocheville or Simmsport at this time, but we may see our tornado warning here expanded east, and if that happens, that's going to be for areas near Moorville, Mansura. Well, it already includes that. That's going to be for areas such as Big Bend. That's if we see it expanded east. But right now, that area with a possible rotation here. Again, there's still a couple of areas. We've been seeing a lot of these warning boxes all day encompassing more than one area of rotation, and we continue to see that. The worst of it looks like it's now just going to be near Marksville and Mansura and moving to the east. Hesmer there, I believe quieting down now as we continue to see this here pushing to the east. Barrett, I'll send it on over to you.
Yeah, that's right. The storm right now that's producing the tornado warning moving kind of the east to east-northeast at about 40 miles an hour, affecting parts of central and northern Avoyelles Parish. But that's along a broader squall line that's producing 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts along and just a little bit ahead of the squall line. And that squall line's moving to the east at 45 miles an hour. And you can see the tornado warning right now expires in the next 10 minutes, but we'll see if they continue it or not. And we should get notification of that within the next 10 to 15 minutes. But for now, we're going to keep the tornado warning going for the next 10 minutes as this continues to move to the east. Heavy rainfall, frequent lightning. We haven't seen much in the way of flash flooding yet, although not to say it's not a possibility or it can't happen. So that's still something to look out for as heavy rain continues to push on to the east. Right now, the squall line bearing down on Natchez. Right now, Jonesville still got a little bit of heavy to moderate rainfall, but it looks like kind of the center of that is just off to the east. So Jonesville should be letting up on the rain here here in the next few minutes or so. Broadening out a little bit, you notice the squall line continues to push on into Voles Parish, but parts of Rapides Parish, the severe weather threat is over for us in Rapides Parish, but we still have some moderate to heavy rainfall kind of lifting up ahead or kind of behind, if you will, the actual squall line. Then once you go further to the west toward Manning, Leesville, DeRidder, you all are drying out right now along with Natchitoches, so that's a little bit of good news for those communities. But you notice Bunkie right now, that squall line starting to bear in on parts of southern Voles Parish and also parts of St. Landry Parish, getting very close to St. Landry Parish right now. And it looks like those estimated rainfall totals running at about 1 to 2, maybe 3 inches in a lot of locations. You can see this is a widespread rain event going on and widespread 1 to 3 inch amounts. And Rachel, how much we got here at the station?
Last time checked, we were over an inch.
Over an inch of rainfall here at the station. And once again, some areas did receive a little bit less than an inch, but some other areas received over 3 inches. And basically what that has to do with is exactly how those storms train along the squall line. If you saw more training in your area with those storms, what happens is squall line moves east, but the storms within it can kind of train to the northeast within the squall line. And so the more training you got, pretty much the more rainfall that you got throughout the area. And you can see Marksville, you all still within that tornado warnings. That squall line continues to push through, and that's also one thing to remember as well. Once the squall line and all this rain pushes through, you can expect to receive up to 3, maybe 4 inches of rainfall before all is said and done. So you notice Marksville getting in on the heavy rainfall right now. Brulette, a little bit of heavy rainfall as well, and you kind of see a little bit of a notch with the radar right in here, and then maybe another one up to the north in here. So overall, with this tornado warning, we kind of have a little bit of a broad signature going on, but we do kind of have 2 little areas that we are kind of keeping a closer eye on. One right up in here just to the east of Brulette, and then another one down in here just to the southeast of the Marksville. You can see that's indicated here with the velocity right in here, kind of some green shaded areas, a little bit of brighter red as well, and then a little bit going on right in here. Like I said, they're not the best indications or velocity signatures, but they are enough to warrant that radar indicated tornado warning. And once again, this is kind of moving to the east northeast, if you will, at about 40 miles an hour. So if you live in communities in eastern of Voles Parish, especially northeastern of Voles Parish, especially east of Marksville now, east of Brulette, you're going to want to make sure that you're in your safe spots. Most interior room of the home or the bathroom are 2 good places to be. And of course, most of us don't have basements here just due to the heavy rainfall we get throughout the year. But of course, if you're one that does, then of course get into the basement, of course. And so you can see that kind of moving on to the east, northeast there, more into rural communities. And it looks like the main majority of this is a little bit north of the Morrillville area. So that's good for the Morrillville area, although you're still technically in that tornado warning box. So maybe still keep your guard up. And I think that most of the activity is just off to the north. Cottonport, you all are out of the tornado warning. So that's good news for the Cottonport area. So once again, the Mansura area now getting east of Marksville, east of the Brulette area, and we'll see exactly what they come out with the update, if they do update this in the next 5 to 10 minutes or so. And it'll be interesting to see what they say about this as this squall line continues to push off to the east at about 40 miles an hour. Do you have anything on that yet, Rachel?
Well, we are dinging now. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning continuing for, haven't seen any update on the tornado warning. So as far as I know, we're going to continue that till for at least another couple of minutes. On top of that, let's turn the radar off because it's looking a little messy. We have numerous severe thunderstorm warnings, all with the tag of tornado possible, which means we continue to see areas of rotation within that severe thunderstorm warning. And any of those at any time could be capable of producing a tornado. So now we're seeing that extended into into. Continuing to see it affecting Evangeline. We're now seeing a severe thunderstorm warning extended into all of St. Landry Parish as well. So that will include the Opelousas area. Eunice still in this area. Ville Platte. Things are going to be moving out of Turkey Creek, but the Palmetto, Washington areas of St. Landry Parish. And we still have a severe thunderstorm warning for the Bunkie and the Cottonport areas, and now that's also going to include the Simmsport area as well. So we don't necessarily have a tornado warning over those particular communities, but you want to be prepared just in case we do see a tornado here dropping down today or spinning up, as we say. That tornado warning, we've got another minute left on it, so we'll see if that's expired or allowed to continue here. But for Marksville and Mansura, that a storm right on top of you with the heavy rainfall and lightning. Where the area of circulation would be is not affecting the Marksville area so much anymore, still affecting Mansura, but Moorville and Hamburg, you're also going to be in the path of the squall line, and you would want to just keep an eye out here just in case we see something happening in the next few minutes. Zooming in here. See what roads we have out here. We get into a real rural area out here, but Bayou de Glazes Road, probably didn't say that right, but I tried. Highway 451. Let's check out this road here. Frank Graham Lane. So we do have, I believe we do have some folks that live out here. Again, continuing along Highway 451 and Bayou there, and that storm there is headed towards your area. Let's head up here. We've got Highway Louisiana 910 there, and let's check out these roads here. There, the print is very small. We have to zoom in. Lake Long Road, that's going to be out ahead of this. Lois Lane, Madam Lee Road. These are some of the other areas here that are out ahead of the squall line. Calabase Road, can't quite see that one too well. These areas here, again, if you live in eastern Avoyelles Parish, and one of these more rural areas here, north of Simmsport near the Big Bend area, north and east of Moorville and Rosewood. Cottonport and Plocheville, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning as well, and that storm is going to be headed towards your area. And we're still seeing many notches in this line. The velocity signatures are messy, but we could be looking at a combination of damaging winds, tornadoes, or again, a little bit of both today as we turn on our warning boxes there. And we just continue to see the squall line progressing to the east. We'll put it in motion here. And this is making its way now into eastern Avoyelles Parish. It's about halfway through the parish now. And we are seeing an update here from the Lake Charles office. They will be clearing Rapides and Allen at the top of the hour from that tornado watch. But we do know, and we have known that that severe threat is over now for Rapides. And again, it is over for Allen as well. Still on top of Evangeline, but primarily Evangeline, as well as St. Landry under the gun. And then we still have the entire eastern half of Avoyelles Parish that is currently under that severe thunderstorm warning. And checking on that tornado warning, it does look like that tornado warning has been allowed to expire for Avoyelles Parish, the one that we've been tracking here for quite a while. But we still have the severe thunderstorm warning, and this encompasses almost all of our eastern parishes. And I think we're going to continue to see warnings on this maybe all day, and certainly at least until it moves out of our area, as it's been holding together and really not losing much of its punch as it pushes east. But quite a different situation between Avoyelles and Vernon, where we almost have seen the rain come to an end for most of our western parishes, but we're still tracking still some heavy rainfall through Rapides Parish. No warnings currently in Rapides Parish. We do still have the tornado watch that is going to be dropped shortly. And as far as our warnings, we now have no tornado warnings for our area, but we continue to see a severe thunderstorm warning. That's going to go until 3:45, which will include portions of Evangeline, St. Landry, and Avoyelles. And then looking on up into Catahoula and Concordia, that severe storm there As we put the radar currently over Concordia Parish, and that's about to swing into Natchez as it surges across the Mississippi River there. And like we've been talking about all day, we do expect things to ramp up as they head east. Last week we got a little lucky. Things didn't really ramp up until they pushed east of us. It was a different situation today with things starting to fire up as things pushed over the Sabine River. So this could be an ongoing event well into the nighttime hours for our neighbors in Mississippi and Alabama as well. Mobile under the level 4 risk for severe storms here this evening. And here locally, we're going to be looking at our tornado watch dropping off, but we still do have our severe thunderstorm warnings continuing. Well, we got another hour on that one, so it's going to be a little while before we see this move out of the area. Barry, I'll send it on over to you.